today's lesson, we are going to work on three more central tendencies for data. We're going to work on median, mode, and range. Yesterday, we worked with mean, which was finding the average. Today, we're going to start with median. Median is the number in the middle after you put them in order. Think of medium. If you wear the size medium, that's in between large and small. The median in the road, if you're going down I-88 in Oneonta, the median would be the grass in between the two highways. So the median is in the middle. It's not spelt the same as middle, but you have the M and the D, so that might help you. But median means the middle number. The most common mistake every student or adult makes with this is they forget to put the data in some kind of order. You can do least to greatest, greatest to least, as long as it's in some kind of order and you pick the one in the middle. If you look at reteaching 19-4 at the examples that they are giving you, they're giving you a chart that has book readings, and they list all the friends, and then they list the number of books read. This should look very similar to the other day's reteaching 19-3 when you did the mean. Median, again, is another central tendency, is another way of looking at data and measuring that data. Median is telling you the number in the middle. So the first thing they say to do, number one, is arrange the data in order from least to greatest. So they took all of the data that was in the chart and they listed it out in order. They did 1, 2, 3, 5. Oops, they did 2 3s, sorry. And then a 5, 6, 8. Even though there's 2 3s, you still have to list them in your data. You can't just write down one and forget the other one. So what I always do when I list them out in order, I count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I count my data in the chart and make sure there's 7 so that I know I didn't leave anything out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 in the chart and I listed out 7. So what you do now is you have to figure out which one's in the middle. There's many different ways you can do it. You can say I cross off one here, and you just keep working your way in until you have one in the middle. So the median for this is 3. That would be your median for this set of data. Now, sometimes they will give you a set of data and it's not odd. There's an odd number of data. So let's say I give you the data of 1, 2, 2, 4, 5, and 6. So there's 6 data, so that's even. So if I cross off 2, I'm stuck with 2 numbers in the middle. You can't have 2 numbers for a median. So if you get stuck with 2 numbers in the middle, you have to pick the number that would go in between them. So this one isn't too bad because we know in between 2 and 4 is 3. So for this one, the median would also be 3. However, if it's not something you come up with off the top of your head, if you add 4 and 2 together, you get 6. And then you want to divide it by 2. So you're finding the average of those 2 middle numbers. Sometimes it's easy and you can just tell the number that's in between it. You might get a decimal like 2.13 and 4.57, and it's a little bit harder to find that middle number. So to find the middle number, you always average those 2 together. Hopefully you're lucky and you get an odd set of data and there will be one left in the middle. But that's how you find median. You list them in some kind of order and then you find the one in the center, in the middle. Okay, so that's median. The next one you need to know how to do is mode. I like mode because if you say the word mode out loud, it kind of sounds like most. If you kind of pronounce them, mode, most. Okay, so in order to find the mode, you are looking for the one, the number, or the data that appears the most. You want the one that occurs or appears the most. There's that word most, mode. Doesn't matter the order on this one. Sometimes it helps, especially if you have to find the median, do that one first. Because if you looked at the data when they listed it out, you had 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, 6, 8. If you don't put it in an order, sometimes it's harder to see that, wow, look at, there's 2 3s here. So the mode for this data is 3 because it appears the most out of all of them. Sometimes you can have more than one mode. You might have 2 3s and 2 5s. It's okay to have more than one mode in a set of data. Mode is simply just the data that is repeating the most. So if you had 2 here and then you had 2 6s, then that would be 3 and 6. But if you had 2 3s, 2 6s, and 4 8s, then the mode would be an 8. It all depends on the data they give you. And we'll look at a couple of these on the practice that you have to do. So mode, remember, is the one that appears the most. Median is the one in the middle. What is the key for median? You have to put them in order. Okay? So that's your mode. Mode is the number that appears the most. And once again, this is also on your reteaching paper in case you want something to look at as we're going over it. The last, I don't know why I put a 1 there. The last one you have to do is range. Okay, when you're trying to find the range, it is the difference. Sorry that this makes noise. The difference between the highest number and the lowest. So this is where you simply, again, if you're doing all 3 of these central tendencies at once, start with median, because that puts it in some kind of order. It makes the mode easier to see. And it also helps with the range, because you want to look for the highest data they give you and the lowest data they give you, and then they want you to subtract it. So for this set of data that is on reteaching 19-1, the highest set of data is going to be 8, and the lowest number they give you is 1. So you would subtract them, because difference means to subtract. You would subtract them and get 7. So 7 is your range. So range is just telling you how your numbers reach, like starting from the lowest to the highest. That is the range between them. Okay, so let's look at some of the examples they give you below. Number 1 says, find the median of the data set 12, 18, 25, 32, 63. So if you look at that, you have to remember the first thing you need to do is put that in order. And if you look at it, they actually do put it in order for you. 12, 18, 25, 32, and 67. So what would be the median for this? Again, you can cross off if that helps. The median is 25. So for number 1, 25 would be your median. So there really isn't any work to show for that one, unless you want to cross off the ends, but 25 would be your answer for number 1. Number 2, they list out the data. Again, this time it is not in any kind of order. If you want to put it in order, you're more than welcome to, but you do not have to. They give you 123, 345, 654, 123. So you should notice we've just repeated that. And 452 and 185. So if you look at this set of data, if you're finding the mode, again, the mode is the one that appears the most. So you'll notice that there's 2 123s. That would be your mode. Okay, for number 3, you're trying to find the range. So you look for the highest number and the lowest number. I tend to circle them, and then you want to subtract them for number 3. If you look over at practice 19-4, again, if you look at number 2 on that, you need to be careful with number 2. So you might want to look at that right now. If you're going to do it tomorrow, just put next to it in order. Number 2, you need to find what the median is, the one in the middle, but the answer is not 355. You need to put them in order first, then find the one in the center. Same thing for, I thought there was a number 8. There's a lot of data up there. It's all in a chart, put them in order, find the one in the middle. Okay. Hopefully this helps. This is your video for reteaching 19-4 and practice 19-4. Just pay attention to those key words. The middle, after you put them in order for median, mode is the most, range is the difference of the highest and lowest. So you're subtracting those two.